This is Patrick Roth, Senior Support Technician for E1 Business Solutions. Today we're going to look at a case with GP project accounting equipment logs and the maps not creating the distributions as the user expects. Now, I've seen this over the years a few times and have solved them with what I'll show you in a second, but I ran across a twist in this latest case that prompted me to write this article. So in this case, as notified, we've got a mapping with whatever source data going to project accounting equipment logs, and we have the create equipment log and the line items created and mapped. And what the end users complain about is it should be creating distributions, and it's not. Now, unlike some other maps, the project accounting one does not have a node, a mapping for create distributions true false like SOP does or POP does. This one doesn't. And so you would expect if it should change distributions, it does. But what we found out in a number of cases, it's not. And the reason why that is because out of the box, Smart Connect 2018 and 21 both have the nodes out of order. So we see in this case, we see the create equipment log is first and the add line item is second. And that has been unusual in that most header line type of documents like sales order or purchase order always have the lines first and then the header. And the reason why that is because a lot of times that the header node will almost always run last because it'll contain code for updating distributions, summing totals, et cetera, on the detail. So if the detail must exist first before we can do that. And the same applies here in that the equipment log store procedure on the Microsoft eConnect side is going to look through all of the lines and then generate distribution of it. But since the header runs first, we don't have any lines, therefore you don't get distributions. So fixing the map is fairly straightforward. We just click the link to available nodes, and we notice that when we do that, we get up-down buttons. So we could use the up-down buttons then to flip the nodes in the proper order. And so now the line items will go in first, the equipment log will go in last, and would generate any distributions if they need to be created. What we might also want to do, however, is that does fix the map, and so we're good there. But if we make a second map, it would be again out of order. We would have to remember to do that. And so what we probably should do is go into the project accounting equipment logs, and we should flip them here too. So we can just drag and drop that. And so now they're in the appropriate order, and we close this and it'll save it. We could have done it in the other order, but changing the order in node maintenance doesn't change the order of the map. So we would still have to do both of them. And that has solved the problem every day up until this week. And so what we found out is they had said, okay, we changed it in the proper order, and I reviewed the XML and it was all correct. And so they said, still not generating the distributions. And from my standpoint, I can't troubleshoot any further because the Microsoft nodes are encrypted and we don't know the logic behind it. And so they presented the XML to the eConnect, Microsoft eConnect technician. And after a lot of digging, they finally found out that it looks like it turns out it was a bug. And so what we turned out to be is that if the equipment log was set up to pull the profit budget from anything but the budget, it would not generate the distributions. And so what they ended up doing is issuing a fix for this. And so this one is a fixed stored procedure for Microsoft. And we can immediately see, of course, their source code here because you can pull it up in SQL. And anyway, it's got a note, fix the bug and calculating profit for not generating amounts to be zero. So in this case, to solve this specific problem is we need this fix, which is going to be linked in the KB of this article. And we would just run it in SQL Management Studio against all of our company databases since it's a company level proc. So I just have the one company. If I do have a whole bunch of installs of GP, so if I wanted to install it in Audium, I would just add it and do it there. So once I no, this one doesn't have project accounting loaded. So anyway, once I run this against my company database, this indeed did solve the customer's problem. And after getting our order fixed and getting this fixed and this product updated, they were able to generate the missing distributions, and all ends well.